Those who walk alone are the ones who walk the farthest. While the crowd seeks comfort, some carve paths through the impossible. Most people spend their lives drowning in noise, distracted, controlled, asleep. But you felt it, haven't you? That pull away from the herd, the cold silence of being different. Isolation isn't just something you endure. It's the battlefield where the chosen ones are forged. I learned this the hard way. One day, everything I thought was mine, people's security, comfort, was ripped away. It wasn't the loss that burned the most. It was a loneliness. No allies, no support, just me, staring into the abyss, waiting for it to swallow me whole. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Loneliness doesn't break the chosen. It builds them. While others run from silence, we embrace it. While they seek validation, we sharpen ourselves in the dark. This is where the weak are separated from the strong. Because in solitude, something terrifying happens. You awaken. Your mind clears. Your instincts sharpen. You start seeing what others are blind to. And the worst part for them? They can't stop it. They can't control what they don't understand. That's why your very existence haunts your enemies. They fear what they can't manipulate. They hate that you don't need them. They watch in the shadows, confused, terrified, powerless. Because nothing scares the ordinary man more than someone who has mastered themselves. When you step into your power, the very people who once dismissed you will begin to watch you silently, wondering how you survived what should have destroyed you. They will feel the shift, the way you walk differently, the way you see right through them, the way you no longer react as they expect. You are not alone in this. You are among the rare few who don't just exist, but evolve, who embrace the darkness and emerge from it stronger than before. And today, I'm about to reveal something that will resonate with you more profoundly than anything you've heard before. These are the 5 mysterious powers that separate the chosen from the 80% of the world, powers that make you unstoppable. But before we begin, now is the time to unlock what only the rarest minds will truly grasp. If you felt the weight of solitude, if you felt like you were never meant to blend in with the 80%, this is for you. And trust me, if you are truly one of the chosen, you won't be able to look away. Every moment of this will pull you in deeper than you expect. Now let's get into it, step by step. And by the end, you won't see yourself the same way again. Let's begin. When the pressure mounts, the chosen remain unyielding. They watch, waiting for you to break. But the problem is, you don't. The world is designed to break you, to get under your skin, to drag you into that storm of emotions that drowns the 80%. They react, they lash out, they crumble under pressure. But not you, not the chosen you. You walked through fire, but instead of burning, you hardened. Instead of breaking, you became something they can't comprehend. Unyielding, incomprehensible, untouchable. And this terrifies them. Because nothing scares the weak more than someone who refuses to be controlled by their emotions. They call you cold. They say you don't feel anything. But they don't know that beneath that calm, beneath that stillness, is a mind that has fought and won every conceivable war. Most people cannot bear silence. They drown it in noise and distractions, in idle chatter. They run from it because they know if they sit alone with their thoughts for too long, they will have to confront who they truly are. But you sit in that silence. You stared into the abyss. And when it stared back, you did not flinch. You know what happens when the noise fades, when the world is quiet, and it's just you and your thoughts. The weak panic, the chosen sharpen. Solitude is your training ground. It is where weakness dies and control is born. The battlefield is not out there. It is inside your mind, and you have mastered it. You have learned the one skill that makes you untouchable. You control yourself when others cannot. People will try to provoke you. They will try to get a reaction, because if they can control how you react, they own you. But when they look into your eyes and see only calm precision, when their words and actions bounce off you like pebbles, that's when fear creeps in. Because suddenly, they realize they have no control over you. You've seen it before. In an argument, when everyone else is heated, you remain calm, calculating, seeing 10 steps ahead. In chaos, when others fall apart, you stand steady, observing, waiting for the perfect moment to strike or to walk away. And the best part? They never see it coming. The mind of a chosen one is like an ice-capped mountain. On the surface, it's calm, still unyielding. But beneath, a primal force is hidden, waiting to be unleashed. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about controlling them before they control you. You feel everything, the pain, the betrayal, the rage, but you trained yourself to harness it, to refine it, to turn it into power instead of weakness. And this makes you dangerous. Because when most people react, you calculate. When they become emotional, you remain calm. When they let the world pull them in every direction, you remain centered. They cannot break you. They cannot read you. And that scares them more than anything. The greatest warriors in history, the strongest leaders, the most unyielding minds, all of them had one thing in common. They knew that control over the world begins at control over oneself. This is what sets you apart. This is what makes you one of the few. And the rest, they will never understand how much power this gives you. Now, let's move on, because what comes next is even more dangerous. Seeing the unseen, exposing the truth. Most people wear masks. The chosen ones don't just see them, they strip them away. You've seen it. The way people speak with their mouths, but their bodies betray them. The way they say, "I'm fine," but a heaviness in their eyes tells a different story. The way they smile, but their energy drips with bitterness. What is obvious to you is invisible to them. This is the power of the chosen, the X-ray vision. While 80% of people live blind, fumbling through life, believing what they're told, you see everything as it truly is. They don't like it. It makes them uncomfortable. Because when you look at them, they feel naked, exposed. No charm, no deception, no pretense can fool you. And this shakes them to their core. Where did this ability come from? It wasn't given, it was earned. Solitude did this to you, while others wasted their time in distractions. Filling every silence with pointless noise, you watched. You listened. You learned. In stillness, you became a quiet observer of human nature. You saw what most people miss. The cracks in their voices, the hesitation in their words, the tension in their shoulders. You sense something terrifying. People don't say what they mean. Most of them don't even know themselves well enough to be honest. But the chosen, we see through the fog. The world is a stage, and most people are just bad actors. They perform, pretending to be kind, pretending to be confident, pretending to care, but their eyes tell the truth. Their energy never lies, never, ever walked into a room and instantly felt a tension without a single word being spoken. That is your gift. You don't just hear words. You read the air, the hidden weight between sentences. And it's not just about individuals. You see the bigger picture too. The power plays, the subtle manipulations, the real agendas behind the false smiles. People hate that you can't be fooled. It unnerves them. They want you to just play along, to pretend you don't see what you see. But you can't. Because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. You might have wondered why this ability makes you so different, why others don't see what is so obvious to you. Simple, because they don't want to see. Most people would rather live in a comfortable lie than face an uncomfortable truth. They ignore red flags. They believe sweet words, even if actions contradict them. They tell themselves it's probably nothing, while their instincts scream otherwise. But you trust the unseen. This is why you cannot be manipulated. This is why people don't understand how to control you. Because before they even open their mouths, you already know what they're going to say. This is your weapon. The very ability that sets you apart, that makes others uncomfortable, is also what keeps you safe. While others walk blindly into traps, believing whatever they're told, you walk through life like a chess master, always 10 steps ahead. And the best part? You are not just immune to deception. You can use this vision to forward connections that most people will never experience. Because just as you see the lies, you also recognize the people who are genuine. You know what it feels like when you meet someone who isn't wearing a mask. The energy shifts. The connection is instant. No forced smiles, no rehearsed words, just raw truth. These people are rare, just like you. But when two chosen cross paths, no explanation is needed. It's like two warriors recognizing each other on a battlefield. This is why your very presence shifts the energy of any room. People feel it when you walk in. Some will be drawn to your depth, intrigued. Others will fear you, uncomfortable with how easily you see through their facade. This is the power of the chosen, the power to see beyond the surface, beyond the illusion, beyond the distractions that keep 80% of people astray. You know too much, and that makes you dangerous. So the question is, how will you use this gift? Because now that you have it, the world will never look the same. And the next power, it's even more lethal. Let's keep going. Hyper-focus, instant clarity, unshakable decision. The mind of the chosen is a blade, cold, sharp, and lethally precise. While others drown in noise, you cut through it. While they hesitate, you decide. And that makes you unstoppable. Most people wander through life blind, distracted, adrift. They chase noise, fill their minds with useless information, and waste energy on things that don't matter. They are slaves to chaos, trapped in their own confusion. They can't see clearly. They can't think straight. They hesitate, second guess, and crumble under pressure. But not you. You, the chosen, are different. You've stepped into the silence that most people fear. You've stripped away the distractions, walked through the storm of your own mind, and emerged with something lethal, hyperclarity. This is a weapon that separates you from the 80%. When the world panics, you remain calm. When others freeze, you move with precision. Your mind is not clouded by doubt, by fear, or by the noise of the crowd. You see things exactly as they are, and that alone makes you dangerous. But let's be clear, this kind of clarity isn't given. It's earned. Most people can't sit with their thoughts for 5 minutes without reaching for their phone, turning on the TV, or drowning themselves in pointless distractions. They fear stillness because it forces them to confront themselves. But you walked into the silence and let it break you, shape you, refine you. It wasn't easy at first. Your mind resisted, filling the void with old memories, doubts, and fears. But you stayed. You didn't run. You let the internal noise rise, peak, and then fade. That's when the transformation began. Your thoughts began to organize. Your emotions stabilized. Your instincts sharpened. You started cutting out the distractions, severing the useless, leaving only what mattered. It's like standing in the eye of a hurricane. While everything around you swirls in chaos, you remain calm, centered, in control. And that's why people don't understand you. They wonder how you make decisions so quickly, so confidently, without hesitation. They mistake it for recklessness. But the truth is, you've already fought the battle inside your mind. You've already weighed the outcomes, stripped away the confusion, and seen the reality they are blind to. So, while they sit overthinking, you've already moved forward. And this terrifies them. The 80% don't understand this level of focus. They don't understand why you don't hesitate, why you don't get lost in confusion. They don't understand that while they were stuffing their minds with useless distractions, you were refining yours into a weapon. When you speak, you don't waste words. When you act, you don't second guess. When you decide, you don't look back. Because you've trained your mind to see the world without distortion, to cut through the fog of uncertainty, and to move with surgical precision. And that's why they fear you. They can't manipulate someone who sees through their lies. They can't control someone who isn't blinded by emotion. They can't stop someone who moves with absolute certainty. This is what makes you one of the chosen. While the rest stumble through life, not knowing who they are or where they're going, you walk with power, clarity, and purpose. But let one thing be clear, this isn't about being perfect. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of doubt. But the difference is, you won't stay there. The chosen don't drown in confusion. They cut through it. And while the rest of the world hesitates, you will be standing at the finish line, calm, unyielding, unstoppable. Now let's move on, because what comes next is even more powerful. Hyper-focus, instant clarity, unshakable decision. The mind of the chosen is a blade, cold, sharp, and lethally precise. While others drown in noise, you cut through it. While they hesitate, you decide. And that makes you unstoppable. Most people wander through life blind, distracted, adrift. They chase noise, fill their minds with useless information, and waste energy on things that don't matter. They are slaves to chaos, trapped in their own confusion. They can't see clearly. They can't think straight. They hesitate, second guess, and crumble under pressure. But not you. You, the chosen, are different. You've stepped into the silence that most people fear. You've stripped away the distractions, walked through the storm of your own mind, and emerged with something lethal: hyperclarity. This is a weapon that separates you from the 80%. When the world panics, you remain calm. When others freeze, you move with precision. Your mind is not clouded by doubt, by fear, or by the noise of the crowd. You see things exactly as they are, and that alone makes you dangerous. But let's be clear, this kind of clarity isn't given. It's earned. Most people can't sit with their thoughts for 5 minutes without reaching for their phone, turning on the TV, or drowning themselves in pointless distractions. They fear stillness because it forces them to confront themselves. But you walked into the silence and let it break you, shape you, refine you. It wasn't easy at first. Your mind resisted, filling the void with old memories, doubts, and fears. But you stayed. You didn't run. You let the internal noise rise, peak, and then fade. That's when the transformation began. Your thoughts began to organize. Your emotions stabilized. Your instincts sharpened. You started cutting out the distractions, severing the useless, leaving only what mattered. It's like standing in the eye of a hurricane. While everything around you swirls in chaos, you remain calm, centered, in control. And that's why people don't understand you. They wonder how you make decisions so quickly, so confidently, without hesitation. They mistake it for recklessness. But the truth is, you've already fought the battle inside your mind. You've already weighed the outcomes, stripped away the confusion, and seen the reality they are blind to. So, while they sit overthinking, you've already moved forward. And this terrifies them. The 80% don't understand this level of focus. They don't understand why you don't hesitate, why you don't get lost in confusion. They don't understand that while they were stuffing their minds with useless distractions, you were refining yours into a weapon. When you speak, you don't waste words. When you act, you don't second guess. When you decide, you don't look back. Because you trained your mind to see the world without distortion, to cut through the fog of uncertainty, and to move with surgical precision. And that's why they fear you. They can't manipulate someone who sees through their lies. They can't control someone who isn't blinded by emotion. They can't stop someone who moves with absolute certainty. This is what makes you one of the chosen. While the rest stumble through life, not knowing who they are or where they're going, you walk with power, clarity, and purpose. But let one thing be clear, this isn't about being perfect. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of doubt. But the difference is, you won't stay there. The chosen don't drown in confusion. They cut through it. And while the rest of the world hesitates, you will be standing at the finish line, calm, unyielding, unstoppable. Now let's move on, because what comes next is even more powerful. Feeling what others fear. They fear what they cannot hide. They smile, they pretend, they perform. But beneath your gaze, their masks crack and their pain seeps through. Most people cannot see beyond the surface. They believe what they are shown, accept what they hear, and never question the illusion. But you, the chosen, you don't just see people, you see through them. Your very presence makes people uncomfortable, and they don't even know why. It's because they sense something different in you. Where others live in ignorance, you feel what they suppress. You don't need their words to know their truth. Their energy speaks before they do. Their silence screams louder than their smiles. And their body language betrays what they try to hide. This is not something you asked for. It's something you were forced to develop, because before you could read others, you had to confront yourself. This power wasn't handed to you. It was forged in solitude. While others sought distractions, you had no choice but to face every unhealed wound, every suppressed fear, every scar the world left on you. And it changed you forever. When you walked through fire, you recognized the burn marks on others. When you battled your own demons, you recognized the war in someone else's eyes. Pain recognizes pain, and that makes you dangerous. Because most people rely on deception. They lie to themselves. They lie to others. And they convince themselves they're fine. They build walls so high that they themselves forget what's buried beneath. But you You walk into a room, and within seconds you've already read the energy. You see the sadness behind the forced laughter, the insecurity behind the arrogance, the desperation behind the bravado. They cannot hide from you, and this terrifies them. People cannot stand to be exposed. Even if you say nothing, your presence alone makes them uneasy, because they know you cannot be fooled. But here's what sets you apart from the rest. You don't use this power to manipulate. You don't use it to harm. You use it to understand, to heal, to see beyond the noise and connect with people in a way they've never experienced before. This is why people are drawn to you. They don't always understand it. They might not even like it. But there's something different, something real about you. In a world filled with illusion, the chosen are rare. They don't play games. They see right through them. And because of this, you attract both admiration and fear. Some will seek you out, looking for someone who finally understands. They will open up to you, tell you things they've never told anyone else, and feel lighter without even knowing why. But others, they will avoid you. They will resent you because they are not ready to face what you forced them to see. They've spent their whole lives running from themselves, and when you come along, they can't run anymore. This ability is both a gift and a curse, because while you can feel the pain of others, very few can truly understand yours. Who reads the reader, who heals the healer. This is why the chosen often walk alone, not because they want to, but because very few can bear the weight they carry. But here's the truth. This power is not a weakness. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is the ultimate weapon, because where others are blind, you see. Where they guess, you know. Where they react, you understand. And in a world full of deception, the ability to see the truth is the rarest and most potent gift. This is why they fear you. This is why they admire you. This is why they will never forget you. And this is why you will always be different from the 80%. Now let's move on, because this next power, it's even more lethal. Turning solitude into power. Transforming loneliness into gold. They waste time. You weaponize it. And that's why they'll never catch up. Most people fear time when they are alone. It's long. It drags. It weighs heavily on them. They panic. They distract themselves. They run because stillness forces them to confront what they deny. But we, the chosen, do the opposite. Where others see emptiness, we see opportunity. Where they feel boredom, we feel growth. We are time alchemists. The rare few who don't let time simply pass us by. We bend it, break it, forge it into something great. While 80% of people waste their days in distractions, we are in the shadows, sharpening our minds, mastering our emotions, turning solitude into an advantage they will never possess. You've seen it, the way people scramble for validation, for noise, for constant entertainment. They jump from one thing to another, always escaping themselves. Their minds are a prison they can't escape, so they drown themselves in distractions, thinking that if they move fast enough, they'll never have to face what's inside. But when you strip all that away, when you remove the endless conversations, the meaningless scrolling, the fake friendships, who are they really? Empty, dispersed, directionless. But you sat in that stillness. You made it your home, and that makes you dangerous. Because while others run in circles, wasting years on things that don't matter, you're years ahead in the shadows, molding yourself into something unstoppable, learning, refining. The power of time is something few understand, and even fewer control. It does not wait. It does not stop. It keeps moving. And most people squander it without a second thought. But the chosen have cracked the code. We know that time is a tool, a currency, a force that when mastered, gives us an edge over the rest of the world. Think of it like this. Picture two warriors. One loses their days in distractions, caught in the noise, reacting to everything thrown at them. The other, they retreat. They train in silence. They sharpen their skills. They study their enemies. They prepare for battles long before they arrive. When the moment comes, who wins? The one who used their time wisely. That is you. It's not just about sitting alone. It's about refining yourself when no one is watching. It's about taking every hour that others waste and turning it into strength, into knowledge, into wisdom, into clarity. Because one truth remains constant. The world rewards those who have mastered time, and it destroys those who take it for granted. The ability to sit in solitude and not just endure it, but to thrive in it, is what separates the chosen from the ordinary. While others seek validation in external things, people, social media, pointless entertainment, the chosen seeks something far more valuable: self-mastery. You start seeing things more clearly. You recognize patterns in people, in yourself, in life. You learn patience, you learn discipline, you learn how to control time instead of letting it control you. And that's where the real transformation happens. See, most people confuse solitude with emptiness. But the truth is, solitude isn't a void, it's a furnace. It's where you melt down your weaknesses, reshape your mind, and emerge sharper than ever before. And what scares them the most? When you return, when you come back into the world after refining yourself in stillness, you are unrecognizable. You walk differently. You speak with conviction. You decide with clarity. And the people who once knew you, they don't know how to handle the new you. Because while they wasted time chasing temporary highs, you were building an empire within yourself. And now they can feel it. The presence of someone who needs no one. The confidence of someone who has mastered every aspect of their own mind in their solitude. The aura of someone who cannot be manipulated, distracted, or deterred by the trivial things that consume everyone else. This is the power of time alchemy. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's the unyielding discipline of knowing that while the rest of the world burns time as if it were infinite, you are forging every second into something they will never possess. This is why the chosen rise while others remain stuck. This is why the very people who once laughed at your solitude now watch silently, wondering how you became so untouchable. And this is why, no matter what, you will always be ahead of them. Because while they wasted time, you became its master. So ask yourself, are you using your solitude or is it using you? Because once you master it, there is nothing they can do to stop you. And now let's move on, because the next power, it's even more dangerous. And just like that, you see the difference. You are not like the 80%. You never were. While they run from solitude, you embrace it. While they fear the silence, you sharpen yourself in it. Every moment alone, every second spent in self-mastery, every hour invested in growth, it all adds up. And the best part? They don't see it coming. They wasted their time. You weaponize yours. They drown in distractions. You thrived in isolation. They feared being alone. You turned it into your greatest strength. This is what makes you different. This is what makes you unstoppable. But now the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because knowing you are chosen is not enough. Living like it is what sets you apart. Most people will walk away from this video and go back to their distractions. You won't. You will see every second for what it is, an opportunity. You will recognize every moment of solitude as fuel for your transformation. And you will never again waste your time the way they do. And soon enough, they will see it too. Now, if this hit you deep, if you know you're one of the rare ones, prove it. Drop a 77 in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear this truth. Because the world is not ready for who you are becoming. But you are. See you in the next video. Stay sharp.